something crosses the road. It's skeletal like, fleshy, and it stands up, and then it like kind of just almost like leaps.
They look back and they see one. Clear as day. It walked 5 feet away from my audio recorder. We just saw a Bigfoot. Holy crap.
I've been pinched, I've been tapped on the shoulder, I've had my name hollered, a hand came up underneath my left arm. I said, little son of a bitch tried to get me. That was the time that I decided you don't sleep inside that building.
Did you see that?
The cow cur, it's big, it's white, and it runs faster than any man could ever run. And it would lean out behind the tree. And that's why we never go out. Because the booger will get you.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Exploring Your Name. I'm Luke.
I'm Dustin.
And today we are going to be talking about different types of sea sightings across the United States, and the most famous one, Nessie.
Yeah.
You're excited for this episode?
I am. You know, it gave me an opportunity to find some stories that I've not ever, heard about in different lakes across the US, which is kind of interesting. You know, we've covered ghosts, we've covered cryptids, UFOs and whatnot, but we've never really, dived into the lakes all over North America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic with all the different sea sightings. And what could they be? Could they be like prehistoric dinosaurs that just never went extinct? Or is it something different?
What's your opinion?
I like to believe that dinosaurs that wasn't that didn't get extinct. That'd be cool, living dinosaurs.
Well, I know, one of the theories is a plesiosaurus, right? It could be could possibly be a plesiosaurus. That's what they think Nessie is.
Yeah.
Right.
They also think that's the one in Raystown, which we'll talk about that later on.
Oh yeah. Well, what's interesting, and we can, I'll share this with you in a bit, but I found an encounter on Reddit of of some sort of sea serpent or lake monster that doesn't look like a plesiosaurus.
Ooh. It's interesting. I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah. So, how do you want to do this? Because I know we kind of had, two different ones that we went for each. So do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start, then I'll go after you.
Okay, cool. So I'll kick things off with one that's kind of slept on in the cryptid world, right? Have you ever heard of the Bear Lake Monster? I
haven't till you mentioned it. The other day, whenever we were talking about what to do for the episode, and I looked into it a tiny bit, but it wasn't. I didn't dive into it deeply because I dove into a couple other ones.
So, I've never even heard of Bear Lake, but apparently there's one hanging out. There's this lake monster that's hanging out in Bear Lake, which Bear Lake sits right on the border between Utah and Idaho, and it's the monster is described as this massive snake-like creature, somewhere between 20 to 70 feet long. Yeah, some people say it's got the head of a cow, or others say it's more like a crocodile or a giant sea serpent. Yeah, real pick your own nightmare vibe, right?
Right.
So first reports popped up in the late 1800s when a guy named Joseph C. Rich wrote articles about it. But later he had admitted that he had made it up to attract people to the area. But here's the kicker. You know, even after the hoax was exposed, sightings never stopped. People kept seeing large humps in the water, something massive moving way too fast to be a fish or a log. So, you know, whether it started as a hoax or not, you know, it does seem like something weird is going on out there.
Yeah, maybe he inspired the hoax from this creature for some reason.
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes me think about how we've talked about before, how, you know, things can manifest. If manifestation can happen on a physical level, if, you know, enough people believe in it, can we actually manifest something?
Mm-hmm. That's a whole different topic right there. It's hard to say. Like, can you manifest something physical? I mean, people believe you can, so I mean, maybe they can.
I like to believe that we can, but
Yeah,
you know what? You know, Bear Lake isn't the only place, you know, with something creepy swimming around. Would you like to share one of yours with us? We can kind of go back and forth here.
Yeah, here in PA, there's a lake called Raystown Lake. It's in Huntington County, and they say that it has this Loch Ness monster, and they name it after the town, Ray, as in Raystown. And people describe this plesiosaurus, long-necked reptilian head, and a humped or serpent body up to 50 to 60 feet long. That is big. First sighting was back in 1962 at the old dam by the lake itself. The lake was formed in 1970, which doesn't make sense to me because the first sighting was in 1962 by the old dam, but the lake wasn't formed until the early 1970s. That doesn't make sense.
No, that doesn't make any sense. So they're seeing it before the lake even existed?
Maybe the dam was built in 1960, like 1970. That would make sense.
We might have to look more into that one. That doesn't. Yeah, the way it's worded, it seems like it was, you know, sighted before the lake was even built. But I mean, that's another thing though. With it being a man-made lake, you know, why would something like that be in there? And if so, like what? Like you'd have to prove to me, like the possibilities. Like if it was connected to like the ocean in some way, shape, or form, yeah, sure. If it was like underwater caves or something that, you know, I don't know why there would be, but if like the ground collapsed or something, you know, maybe.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, I saw this too in 2010. Do you remember the show Fact or Fake, the Paranormal Files or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
They actually investigated this on that show. They used sonars and all. Yeah, Raystown. Right?
Raystown.
They investigated. Yeah, and they didn't really catch anything through there. They did night dives, sonar, and photos, and they didn't really catch anything. Which, I mean, I think it would be hard to catch something like that in a big lake. You have to be at the right time, right place, right time.
Do you know how big Raystown Lake is?
Give me 1 minute. I can tell you.
Just to get an idea. I know it's like really big. Like you don't think about how big like some lakes can be until like you witness it.
The surface area is approximately 8,300 acres. The maximum depth is about 200 feet. And the average depth is about 80 feet. And it stretches approximately 20 to 32 miles long.
That is still a lot. That is a lot. That's wild. You know, that's definitely enough room for something to be surviving. But with it being a man-made lake, I can't imagine there being something like that in there. But at the same time, who knows?
It's curved into the Appalachian Mountains. So
that is interesting. That is interesting. So it's carved into the Appalachian Mountains. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
And you said that it kind of has a serpent. Some people describe it as a serpent-like creature.
Yeah.
So then maybe they're not all looking like a plesiosaurus. Maybe it seems to be those are the two common ones. It's either plesiosaurus-like or it's serpent-like.
Yeah, but this actually does say plesiosaurus.
Does it? Huh. That's
Yes.
wild. So yeah, so that lake is huge. That's Raystown Lake. That's in PA.
Yeah,
we need to go there.
That's in PA.
We should go.
It's only a couple hours from here.
I'm thinking fishing trip, buddy.
Fishing trip to Raystown, and they make this a well-known thing in Raystown. They like have merch with it on it. It's like a big thing in Raystown. It's a well-known in Raystown.
We might be able to get some T-shirts over there in a store.
That'd
Just a
cool.
little something. I let you know, without letting out too much information.
Yeah. Then the most recent sighting was in 2008. His name was Mike. And his family saw a neck and a head protruding 3 to 4 feet above the water, heading towards their boat in a no wave zone, or no wake zone. I'm not sure
it was
what
heading
the
toward
no
them.
wake zone is. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And that's a lot of the encounters they see like the head sticking out of the lake.
Yeah,
which
that seems
is
to be
interesting because like, could it be a stick? But I think you would know if it's a stick.
under the right conditions. It could be, pretty deceiving, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, you can't mistake something like that though. It's very hard to mistake something like that. If you see a head and eyes, then you know it's something. It's not just a stick.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, has there been any of these stories, saying that there was eye shine or anything? We need to find somebody that has witnessed something, had an encounter with the Loch Ness monster. Please, down Ray, any of them.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And like I said, they have merchandise all over the place with this thing on it. They have t-shirts, they have patches, they have postcards, they have everything. They even have like their own gift shop with this creature.
That's awesome.
So I'd be interested to go up to see about maybe trying to see this thing.
Yeah, what if we did like a little video of us, kind of going and checking out the spot, and
yeah, like a little vlog.
I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah,
that would be cool. Yeah, and let's see how far away it is from us exactly. Raystown Lake.
I think it's a day drive. I really don't think it's far.
No, it's not far at all. It's 3 hours and
What is
11
it?
minutes from here.
That's not bad. I mean, that's definitely doable in a day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Did you have more from Raystown?
No, I think that's pretty much all I have on Raystown. Like I said, it's a big thing that people like go there just to try to see this creature.
Yeah.
Which makes me think too, like, with it being a big focal point in this area, like, how true could it be? Are they just trying to get people here? But I mean, they say there's pictures of it. I've seen a picture of it, and it looks pretty.
Where did this? Well, obviously the story originated in Raystown, but what is, what's the story there? Like, when was it first surfaced to the public?
What, the sighting?
Yeah, Raystown Ray.
I would probably say the first sighting in 1962.
1962.
That would be my guess, yeah.
But there's been multiple sightings from,
Oh, yeah.
since then.
There's one in 2006, 2006, 2008, and additional reports after that.
Jeez.
A local fisherman caught a picture of it in 2006.
Do you have the picture? Like, can we share it?
Let's see if I can send it to you. And you can...
Yeah. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify, unfortunately, you're not going to get to see the picture. But if you want, go over to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you subscribe. That way you can, get future updates on our postings. But you'll be able to see the picture there. Or you know what? Maybe we should share it on our Facebook too. We can do that as well. That way.
Yeah, we can do that so people can see it. Save this and I'll send it to you. I mean, this is a pretty crazy figure. You'll see it when I send it to you.
Why don't you just share it on the screen?
I guess I could do that. I forget how to share it.
Present or invite?
Share screen. Okay. Windows. Share.
There we go. Did you add? Oh, okay. I'll add it to the stage. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you zoomed out of it. Can you zoom back into it?
Oh, that's the lake. No, I don't know how to zoom back into it. I can make it full screen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a log.
No.
That's Raystown Ray. Yeah, that's Raystown Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a log.
No. And this one's a closer view of it. If it popped up. Yeah, that does not look like a log to me. You can clearly see the head right here.
Yeah.
And this is like the merch, his Town Ray guy, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a very well-known thing in Raystown. Here's another one. I should have showed this one too. But this one's pretty interesting because this one's hard to say what it could be. because it's an older photo. Is it? No. There we go. Because it just looks like a shadow underwater, but it's still pretty interesting. Is it showing? You got to add me to the stage right here.
Yeah, but my thing, I've seen this picture before. My thing is, you know, what are they doing here? Because it looks like this is set up for some sort of show.
Yes.
So, could it be, you know, Willie or whatever the orca is, and that be like a really poor photo of him at an angle?
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely. And here's a like a big picture of the lake where you can actually see the lake itself. If it is. Which that is pretty big.
That is pretty big.
So we'll share these pictures on what's it called? Facebook. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Cool. Well, did you have any more that you wanted to share from Raystown?
No, I think that's all there.
All right.
I think that's pretty good.
Cool.
I got on Raystown.
So now I want to take everybody up to Canada for this next one.
Ooh.
The Turtle Lake Monster. This one's a little bit, you know, a little different than the usual long neck sea serpent vibe. You know, witnesses describe it as this massive prehistoric looking fish or reptile. Some say it's like a dinosaur sized fish. Others say it's like something straight out of Jurassic Park. It's big, dark, and, you know, lurking just under the surface. But local Cree legends. Now, Cree, that's like Native Americans, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
We'll have to look into that. But local Cree legends, they go way back, talking about a monster that would tip over boats and drag people under. Even today, fishermen say nets have been shredded or that they've seen huge shadows pass under their boats. Nobody really knows what it is. Some say it's like a big sturgeon. You know what a sturgeon is?
Yeah, they're pretty big fish.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's I didn't really find too much on Turtle Lake, the Turtle Lake Monster, but that's pretty much as far as that went. But that's the thing, though. All these different lakes are having, you know, people are having experiences at, yeah. But you have another one.
No. Yeah. It's funny how all these like sounds from like the same, like Nessie. This one is in Ohio and Michigan, in the South Bay, which is Bessie. This is in Lake Erie. First recorded sighting. Oh man, I just lost it.
No.
I just lost all my information.
That's unfortunate. Oh no, I can't hear you.
Okay, let's bring it back up. Alright, the first sighting of Bessie was in 1793. It was described as a 30 to 60 foot long, grayish-brown snake-like neck with humps or things. Several boats recorded to see these things in the lake. And this one was in 1817. Several boat crews reported giant something, including one 60-foot copper-colored creature struck by musket fire. So they were shooting at this thing with a musket. Oh. I don't think I would want to do that and piss something off like that.
When was it? Oh, musket. That's, must have been way, back then, but still. Something that big in the water, I'm probably if I have the opportunity, I might take a shot at it. I might.
This was in 1817. Another one. Yeah.
I was just gonna say 1817. Dustin definitely would have shot at that thing.
Another cruise ship in Toledo saw a 50-foot serpent with its head above 4 feet above water.
That's wild.
Again, they see the head. And there's a whole bunch of different... this one's interesting. It's in 1896, 4 eyewitnesses at Crystal Beach, Ontario, watched a 33-foot creature with a dog-shaped head for about 45 minutes.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? These stories all sound, way too similar to just be coincidence. Bear Lake, Turtle Lake, Lake Erie, Raystown, different places, different names, but the same kind of descriptions. Something big, that shouldn't really be there, but it is. So, what is it that we're really looking at here? Do you think it's like a big prehistoric fish, or do you think it's like floating logs and waves playing tricks on people?
It's hard to say because, like you said earlier, Lake Erie is a big calming lake for large sturgeon. So is that a thing where people are seeing and misidentify it? And even Native Americans have legends of sea serpents. Which I don't think Native Americans are gonna make stuff up like that.
Yeah. Wait, I don't know if this is the one that you... So, okay. In the beginning of the episode, I mentioned that I have some, pretty interesting encounters that I found on Reddit, right? And I'm not sure. Did you say that the one of them, because you kind of cut out there, but was one of them from 2003 at Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia?
No, I don't see that one.
Okay, all right. So let me read a couple of these off to you, because some of these are really interesting. And actually, do I want to read that one or this one? Hold on, give me 1 second. I got to think here for a second, because this one's kind of incredible too. You know what? Let me read you a couple of these, and then I'm going to read this last one, because the last one is pretty interesting. So, 2003 in Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, a lobsterman, Wallace Cartman, spotted what he thought was a log until it raised its head. He described it as brown, with a head like a sea turtle and a snake-like body as thick as a 5-gallon bucket. It dove, hit the shallow bottom, stirred up mud, then resurfaced, and was followed for nearly 45 minutes. Cartwright is a fisherman of 30 years. He said that he'd never seen anything like it.
That would be terrifying. Where did you say this was?
This was in Nova Scotia.
Interesting. What do you think that could have been?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if he's seen it moving and then he followed it for 45 minutes, I mean, this person spends a lot of time out on the water, so I imagine they know what they're looking at when they see things, and seeing something like that definitely,
I think you would know.
Pretty sure
something.
they do. Right. Now, this last encounter that I have here is back in 1965. Let me see here, make sure that I'm reading the right one. So Navy officers Captain Marvin McCamus and Captain Bill Rainey were piloting the deep sea submersible Alvin in the Bahamas, Tongue of the Ocean. I guess that's the name of the vessel. But while inspecting a deep sea cable at around 5,000 feet deep, McCamus noticed movement. At first, he thought it was a utility pole until it moved. What he saw was shocking. A large creature with a thick body, 2 sets of flippers, a long neck, and a snake-like head with eyes looking directly at him. Before they could capture it on camera, it swam out of view. McCamus described it as looking very similar to a plesiosaur. Despite logging the encounter, McCamus believed the Navy removed the entry. He was a highly respected officer, even awarded for recovering a lost hydrogen bomb. He later confirmed to researchers that the sighting was real and corrected a small detail in a published account. The year was 1965, not 1969. What makes this sighting unique is that it happened underwater, not at the surface like most sea serpent reports. Considering that even massive species like some beaked whales remained undiscovered until recently, it raises the question, could something prehistoric still be hiding in the depths?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the video of that lake monster? I think I seen it on oh shit, I can't remember what it was on, but it was on Paranormal caught on camera. It's this giant like thing swimming in the water. Did you ever see that video?
I don't think so.
I'll see if I can find it. See if I can get it up. Try to pull it out so you guys can see it. And this is very interesting. I want to believe these things are out there. And I mean, there's so much water in the world where something like that could be living.
Are you sharing your screen?
Once I get this video, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We know more about. I think that we've explored space more than we've explored our own oceans.
Yeah. I'll share my screen.
It'll be interesting, in the next 20 to 30 years to see if if any of this stuff is discovered. If we discover it all, we're going to be out of a job. You know that, right?
Yeah. And this is actually on the news.
Oh, this is okay. Can you make it bigger? There's no sound. Oh my goodness, it is glitchy. Yeah, it didn't make it bigger. It made the screen bigger, but the video is still small. Hopefully everybody can see that. I can kind of see it.
Oh, what's going on?
Car parts.
Car parts.
That's not it, everybody. We're not here to sell car parts.
Look up real lake sea monster.
On what?
American Loch Ness monster. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe you'll be able to pull it up better.
Oh, Peaches. Lake Champlain's mysterious creature. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I see it on ABC News. I got it here. It is being slow. Hold on. We got to get through the ads, everybody. Oh, I got to play through the ads. All right. Let's share my screen. Hopefully this works for everybody. All right. Can you see that? I'm going to play it.
All right. We're just already trying to debunk this next story, but I believe back now with that strange thing spotted in Alaska's waters, raising big questions this morning. Could it be, yes, George, could it be an American Loch Ness monster? ABC's Gio Benitez is here. Gio, what do you think?
Prove it, Gio. I agree with you, and I love that music, by the way. Listen, I'm not easily convinced by this stuff, but wait till you really look at this video. Many in Alaska wonder if it's the rumored relative of the Loch Ness monster. So on this Halloween, you decide. It's the 15-foot mystery, moving slowly and methodically through Alaska's freezing water, garnering almost 500,000 views on Alaska's Bureau of Land Management website. Locals asking if this is Alaska's own version of the Loch Ness monster, the much talked about China Chomper. One visitor to the site believes China is back, writing, "The China Chomper, it's back. It was like our own Bigfoot." Another finding the Halloween sighting spookily timed, speculating it could be zombie salmon. That's what I thought. Whether it's really a frozen rope, as one biologist suggests, a very cold fish, or a real-life monster, the people of Alaska finding solace in the words of some Loch Ness locals this morning. And you may be wondering, what did that local tell us? Well, he said, "I believe there are strange beasts. I know they exist, and that's good enough for me." Now, before you get too scared, know that some of the employees there...
That's interesting. You're muted.
Isn't that crazy looking?
That is crazy looking. What do you think it is? It kind of looks like a fish to me. It looks like a really big fish with like ice on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Could it be a Loch Ness monster? But still, it's crazy to see something like that. If I seen something like that, my face is going to be like, "Hey, shit, it's like a Loch Ness monster."
Yeah, imagine it. You know, hooking something like that on your fishing pole.
No, thank you. That would suck.
Oh man. So do you have any other stories or anything like that you'd like to share before we move on to this next thing?
No, I think that's everything I have on Bessie and Racetown.
All right. So before we wrap this up, we have a Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? Would you rather?
Let's do it.
Face a school bus-sized eel or a semi-truck-sized crocodile?
Would I rather come encounter with one or the other?
Face-to-face with a school bus-sized eel or a semi-truck-sized crocodile?
That's terrifying to think of. A semi-truck-sized crocodile. I feel like either way you're gonna have a chance.
I have a little crocodile here. There, we'll use that as a thumbnail.
I don't know. The eel might be a little safe at that.
Wait, hold
Is
on.
it
Let me
an
think
electric
about.
eel or is it just a eel?
We're gonna say it's an electric eel.
Either way, you're screwed. If that thing shocks you out that big, you're done. And if
Yeah,
a
that's true.
semi-truck crocodile's coming after you, it's eating you in one bite. So
Yeah.
either way, you're screwed. So I'm probably gonna say, I don't know, probably to the crocodile.
You would go for the crocodile?
If it's the last thing I see, yeah, I'd rather see a semi-truck crocodile.
Nah, I'm taking the eel all day long. Crocodile got me.
No,
I
if
know it.
was, the eel got you too.
Yeah, but I have a better chance with the eel.
Next to the
I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know. School bus sized electric eel, it probably wouldn't take much.
No, that's what I'm saying. Your fate
You know
is
how
lost either way.
you know how fast a crocodile is, especially a semi truck sized crocodile.
Yeah, fast as shit.
You imagine it doing like a death roll or something?
You're already dead. It don't matter.
I don't know.
I'll hop on that shit and nag it. I'll hop on the track and nag
Here,
it.
we'll Photoshop you on top of this little alligator here, and that'll be
Thumbnail.
there we go. All right. Well, you know what? I got one more for you.
Okay.
Would you rather swim across Bear Lake knowing that the monster was sighted about a week ago in broad daylight,
Okay.
or swim alone in Lake Erie at night, not knowing if the monster's there or not?
I'll go with the first one.
Why?
Because they said it a week ago. That's a good chance I could see it.
But what if it's like trying to eat you?
I mean, I guess it's a chance I'm willing to take. I mean, Lake Erie is known to also, which we can do another episode on this too, sirens.
Oh, and Lake
Erie
Erie?
is known to have sirens. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
we might have
so,
to circle
I mean,
back to that.
Are you going with the sirens and the Bessie, or are you going
Lake
with
Erie?
just
Nah.
and you're at night?
At that point,
so
I might.
It's easier
I might
to
just
get
take the
lost
semi
at
truck's
night.
crocodile. All right. I think that wraps it up for this episode of Exploring the Unknown, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that was fun.
Do you have more?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
yeah. So
That
four
was a fun
different lake
episode.
monsters. It was a fun
Mhm.
episode. Yeah, 4 different lake monsters, eerily similar stories.
Yes.
Cool. So, as always, if you've got stories, hit us up on Facebook. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel whenever you or wherever you listen to podcasts. Drop us a message, leave us a review, share the show, and stay curious. Stay weird and maybe stay out of the water.
Good tip for this episode. Stay out of the water.
Yeah. All right.
You'll
guys.
see us there, but stay out.
Yeah. Oh, real quick. Also, all this music here, that you guys are hearing in the background was produced by yours truly. If you are looking for, music to be created in any way, shape, or form, whether it be for your next YouTube video or if you're, an up and coming artist, hit me up. We'll work it out.
Yeah, the background on here is also made by me, and all the thumbnails we create is also made by me. I do thumbnails, and you can find me at Barker's Custom Thumbnails on Instagram.
Nice.
I'll put that in the link below.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And if you've had an encounter and would like to be on the show, reach out to us through Facebook or exploringtheunknownpod@outlook.com. Send us an email or, just drop us a voice memo and we'll play it here on the show and talk about it.
And if you also know anybody who has an interesting story, send them our way.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Till next time. Keep exploring the unknown.
Oh, I messed it up. We'll get it right one day.
One day.